Good morning. Thank you for joining us on today's live on Equa Television International. I want to start with this question. Have you ever been treated unfairly? How did you feel? Did you harbor bitterness? Is this something that you are still struggling up to now and you feel you can't let go? What is the issue? Who hurts you? And today, on today's life, we just want to look at bitterness and how to get over it. And I'm not doing this alone. I have my beautiful sisters in the house. I have Prudence Burgai and I have Joyce Dekada. Prudence, how are you?
I'm fine. Good morning to you.
You're welcome back.
Thank you.
I miss you on the show.
Good morning, Sabu. Good morning.
Good morning, Joyce.
Morning, Prudence.
Good morning,
like, we
Joyce.
miss you. Welcome back. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Looking refreshed, even though
I'm stressed.
Yeah, we
the Lord renew your strength.
Yeah.
we understand.
Yeah.
We understand.
But it was a fun journey, so I think that it was worth it. So
Wow. So we really thank God for Journey Mercy. And today we are here looking at bitterness. Bitterness. What's bitterness? In just a simple term, like someone layman out there, understand.
Okay, when you talk about bitterness, you know how that's when you pluck bitter leaf and the face because of the taste of it. So bitterness is a feeling of anger or unhappiness. So a layman's understanding, that's what bitterness is, a feeling of anger or unhappiness. And then for some, it is a feeling of anger, disappointment for being treated unfairly. That is what bitterness is.
yeah. So basically, there's nothing much different from what she says. It is just that emotion that you get from being disappointed about something, angry about something, and all those the negative feeling that you have towards something or somebody. That's basically what bitterness is.
And just to add, it is synonymous to resentment and envy. So,
Resentment and envy.
Yeah.
Yeah, could someone say bitterness is envy? Like, because someone out there, envy is when you are, somebody will say when you are envious of someone, maybe possibly what he acquires or his achievement or his position or something.
I think it's a component of bitterness. Yes, it's like a factor that moves you towards bitterness. So you envy this person, and then this person just keeps on. You begin to feel bitter about it yourself. So it's like a factor towards bitterness. I wouldn't say it is bitterness, just something leading towards it. But resentment on the other side, I think you could use them synonymously. You could interchange them in context. They have closer meanings. Yeah, but envy, I would take envy as something that leads towards bitterness.
you know, like when I was talking about, like we establish feeling of anger or unhappiness, there are people that will just see someone around them blossoming, like prospering, like growing, and they feel so unhappy about it, like this should be me. Why this person? And before you know, the person develops anger, develops anytime he sees the other person is not happy, and from that the envy grows. It becomes he or she becomes envious of the other person, and from envy, because you can't change what is happening to that person, is still blossoming. Every day you hear good news about the other person, and then you become bitter. So envy, like she said, is a component. It leads to bitterness.
Or you can say lack of sweetness.
Bitterness. True.
Makes sense.
You talked about bitter leaf, and I wonder then, when they cook bitter leaf soup, and then that day, we were, in fact, she will Momsi will still come and then find that food there because nobody is going to eat because you feel the soup is bitter. And you know, children,
Yeah, you just want everything
related
sweet.
with, you know, anything sweet, and the rest. So today, we are not doing this show alone. Like you all know, our followers, we expect you to join us on social media, on our social media handle at Aqua Television International, because we do this program together. So let's talk. Let's have your experience and then put your voice on what we are going to be discussing today. And we want to believe that at the end of this show, definitely someone there will find reason to let certain things go by His grace. Is it normal for somebody to just be bitter for no cause?
Well, for no cause, I think that can be likened to witchcraft, though. You are just bitter for no cause. Honestly, how can? But there are people that are like that. Your path did not cross with that person. Like now, I'm using the one that stems from envy. Nothing. Like I'm not even standing on your way, and you're just angry. You're just bitter. You get? There are people that are envious and bitter about people that they don't even know. Why? Because they wish they had what you have, and because it is not them, they just get bitter. So there are people that just get bitter for no reasons, but there are people that have justifiable reasons to be bitter, and there are people will be asking what can be the reason why someone would just decide to be bitter. Losing of loved ones. That can make you so unhappy. That can make you angry. We were talking about a loss of someone that was close yesterday, or was it day before yesterday? And you spoke about the fact that you had plans. This was coming from the person that said, I want us to do this. I want to see you grow to this level. And I want to see this and that. And then the person, you just wake up to the news of the person's death. You feel unhappy. You feel unhappy. You feel like there's that feeling of pain, anger. And then before you know, there are people that hold on to that for a very long time. It becomes bitterness. I know someone that shared her story. She said when she lost her dad, like it took her 6 months. She was not talking to people. She just don't want to, like, it came as a shock. Like, God, why? Oh, imagine I lost my mom and then my dad again. And a story of, there's a lady too that I know. Like, everybody, just one night, the unknown gunmen in quotes invaded the house. And they killed virtually everybody. She survived with a cut. And it just took the grace of God. Each time I see her, I just wonder how she's living. It's just the grace of God. Like, think about it, my mother, because, okay, the dad was not at home at that point. He traveled, like, on work, like that, for work purposes. And for them that were at home, these guys came, and then they killed everybody. I know it's a family that where you see the grandmother is in the house, the children are there, and then grandchildren. In fact, there's a room for tenants too in the compound. And when they came, they killed everybody. Like, the girl I'm talking about survived with a cut. And God helped her, she survived it. But, like, think about how the father will feel coming back to losing his wife, his mother, his children, his grandchildren, and like, it can only take the grace of God for you to live and, like, come out of that. To be encouraged is the grace of God. So people losing a loved one can lead to a justifiable reason for you to be bitter. But while we're talking about this, it is, God has assured us of His grace to pull us through this. You're not supposed to live in it, because you live in it, you won't move. God is waiting for you ahead. So his intention is not for the situation to destroy you. So it is there's something that He wants out of you, to bring out of you, that might be a lesson or a message to the world about His nature and His greatness. And that is why He allowed. I tell you that anytime I see the man or the daughter, I'm encouraged. like I see God working through them, because do you know, like I cannot even imagine it, losing, and then you are still strong, standing strong. And it tells you about the nature of God and what he can do. Like I said, a man cannot even comfort you in such situation. It only takes the grace of God to. So there are people that have, like, they can give you justifiable reason of being bitter, losing loved ones. Some, imagine a child of 4 losing both parents, and then growing up from one relation house to the other, being maltreated and all of that. Each time you see the child sitting, he's crying, remembering how that I wish my parents were here, I wish my parents were here, I wish my parents were here. So, but for some people, no reason at all. They are just like that. If they just see someone passing, they just get angry. That's why I liken them to just witchcraft. I have an experience. I was once bitter. Like I was so hot. I was angry. It was a situation that happened. Like something was said about me that was not true. And then I remember how that, I put so much effort into making like work possible, like making it work. And then after putting all my effort, all my time and everything, like when you're expecting, well done, then you're not hearing a different narration about the whole thing. You did this, you did that, and I was so disappointed. Recall from the beginning, I said it can be a feeling of disappointment. Imagine that after putting every effort just to make things work, and then somebody is seeing it in another light, and later on saying things that were not actually it. Like I was so bitter. Like each time I think about it, I just feel one certain dislike for the person. And like, it's not even worth it for me to continue with this and even put more effort. So for some time, like I kept having this feeling of unhappiness, disappointment. Anytime I see anything that has to do with that, I just feel angry. But I came to a point of, no, I can't continue like this. Imagine that these are people that you can sit, gist, talk, laugh, talk to. These are people that could help you. These are people that you could also be of help to. Why keep being bitter? What has happened has already happened. If the person is already remorseful and is apologizing for, I'm sorry for this. No, it is not how you see it. This was how I felt about your action. Then why live in the bitterness? And I told myself, well, this is something, it has happened. I can't control life or what comes my way. Like, I cannot stop life from happening, but I can control how I feel about things and then how I act to it. So I came to that point of telling myself, no, why will I hold on to this? First, forgive. Secondly, I said, God, you know my intention, and you know, so it is up to you. Do what you think is best for you. And I tell you that since then, I had my peace. And then I related freely with everybody that was around me or that was involved in everything, and it helped me. So there are reasons why people losing of job, lack of promotion, bad breaks. You didn't get the medical report was not good, like your past mistakes, and then people misunderstanding you. Some people will say, I'm always judged wrongly. So you not being appreciated. And then all this. There are people out there that have worked for years, and at the time of they retire, what they're expecting that they should be paid their benefit. But for years, they keep going up and about, and this thing is not forthcoming. That alone can get you discouraged and bitter and angry. I've discussed with one old soldier, we were talking, and he said they are one of the people that fought for this country. But today, nobody's even looking at them. Like, after all their effort. So things
to
like
put
this
the country together.
So after all this effort, and today you're not even what is what, like something that you worked for, your pension that should be paid to you, like is due, but you don't get paid at the end of the day. These are reasons that people can be bitter. Someone might offend you, like you're just passing and like intentional step on your toe. That is enough to make you unhappy or angry. So there are so many reasons why people are bitter. That's why I said yesterday, some people say, you don't understand though. You're telling me to have the right frame of mind. You will not understand what this person did to me. You might have reason out there, yes, to be bitter, but you shouldn't hold on to it. Even if you think the reasons are justifiable, it will stop you from your growing. It will stop you from enjoying what God has in stock for you. Like, every day is a blessing. And when we live bitter, we are not glorifying God. You get, if it is a gift, this today is a gift to me. And imagine that God say, oh, take Wednesday, I'm going to allow you to see Wednesday. This is my gift to you. And you're living the whole day that God has gifted you unhappy, angered, in bitterness. I don't know, but it's not a good one.
You ever mentioned I was going to take it from this angle. You mentioned that you're taking the whole day that God has given you bitter. There's also the fact that some people's bitterness leads them to atheism. So in the first place, you don't even acknowledge the place of God. That all stems from bitterness. When she gave the illustration of that man and his daughter who survived that incident, I was just thinking, for somebody who is not deeply rooted in God, it is, or even for somebody that is too, you could let your emotions be, take a whole control of you, and then at the end of the day, you just end up becoming very bitter towards God. And I think that's the worst of all bitterness, because at that point, you're not even listening to him, or you're not even quiet to even seek for comfort from him, who is the only person that can give you comfort at that time. So you're bitter to the point that if he doesn't intervene in some miraculous way, and we know that he's capable and able of doing that, you're just lost. So bitterness continues to build. That's another thing. So if you start from here, you're bitter towards one person, your bitterness could stem towards the next person. Okay, so you're unhappy about this person, and then you find this person happy with this person, then tomorrow you'll be bitter towards this person. Next tomorrow, you find somebody that is happy with this other person that you are bitter with, then you become bitter towards the next person. So you're already bitter towards 3 people.
So
then
keeps
it continues,
like
yes,
cancer.
it continues to build and build and build. At the end of the day, you would just find that at some point you would be thinking, okay, so everybody's just out to get me. So long as they are happy, I'm not happy, so everybody is out to get me. And when you see that they are falling or something bad is befalling them, that's when you have a slim glimpse of happiness. At that point, you feel happy because you're feeling justified. Okay, so they're... But the funny thing is that they probably don't even know what they did to you. That is making you bitter. But you're living your life in bitterness. You can't even have a relationship with people well, because you're constantly thinking that, okay, this person will soon come and betray me. You're constantly thinking that something is going to go wrong. You're constantly thinking that everything is not working for your good. Everything is just against you. So you're not... it's easy at that point to be depressed. Sometimes bitterness, I'm trying to get the word to really give out what I'm trying to say. It's like you're slowly eating poison to kill yourself. It's gradual. Maybe you put in a little bit of red poison today, a little bit tomorrow, and then gradually your body is deteriorating. And next tomorrow, they will just find that you're dead. That's what happens with bitterness. It grows. So from the first moment, I think it was easy for her to let go of bitterness, because the moment it began to stem up, she killed it. But if you don't kill it at that moment, at the moment where it is still an infant, it continues to grow. And when it grows to the point that you're bitter towards everybody that is around you, your relationships become something else. You don't have, you wouldn't say you have friends or family, even your family, you just feel like even everybody in your family is just against you. So the whole thing is that bitterness is a terrible disease. It grows over time, and you need to be conscious of it so that you will not allow it to grow in you. And most of the time, some people don't even know from the beginning that they're being bitter. They just think like, I'm just angry towards this person. But then you continue to build up on that anger, it will definitely be bitterness, and it might just spin out of control.
Yeah. So we'll say bitterness is the elder brother of anger. Because anger, even the Bible says, is allowed. It says, get angry, but don't allow the sun to go down. So that means it's allowed. And like I will always say, anything that has to do with emotions, whether that shows a sign that you are happy, you are angry, you are moody, or what, God designed it with a purpose because the system needs it. But you have to be in control of your emotions. That is when you will know that you are angry, and then you give it time that you say, come on, I need to move on. That's control and balance.
Yeah.
But when you lose control of your emotions, that is when the anger keep eating and keep growing and becomes bitterness. Around anything that makes you bitter. That's one deadly part of it. And once it's settled and you stagnant in the sense that you are bitter, you are one place that once I see Joyce laughing with Prudence and I'm not cool with Prudence, already I'm bitter with Prudence, I start assuming. This one that I just passed and they are laughing, definitely Prudence may have told her something. And just look at how she was just laughing. Like you begin to live based on, because I begin to see everybody with a negativity. Even people that God have designed in your life to help you, you begin to see them with that eye of negativity. Do you think that your help will come? I don't think so. Because already the person, it will be difficult for me to say, Joyce, help me with your pen. And at that time, I need the pen to write something which is very, very important at that moment. But bitterness will not allow me to just act as common as pen. To just write one quote that is being sent that I'm supposed to copy and send to someone for my sake. But I won't ask. And at the end of the day, I won't cram it. And that thing is gone. The worst part of it, she didn't even know that I'm bitter with her. But I'm just trying to show as if I'm keeping my space while I'm dying in silence. Anytime I hear someone call Joyce, not just this Joyce, but I just hear Joyce, somebody bearing the name, already I'm pissed off, I'm angry. Maybe I'm in one state. I'm not even around where the person we are talking in question is. But you just feel, and then you don't sleep well. Even when you eat, your system don't digest those nutrients and make it work. You see you are looking pale. No matter what you do, you are always looking unkept. You're not happy. That's the danger. And you find that gradually you start drawing, you start withdrawing from people, because sooner or later people will start irritating you because you have attached negativity to everything around you. So that potential that God has embedded in you for you, to bring out your best, to explain the goodness of God and the diversity of God in your own way will not show, because already you have caged yourself in bitterness.
This reminds me of the story of the prodigal son. Let me tell you something. The spirit of unforgiveness stems bitterness. Like people that are bitter, than for them to see anybody grow, get promoted, being happy. Like there are people that will vow, I would rather die. Like that's
you
the
will hear them
spirit
saying,
of bitterness.
There
are people that you don't need anybody to tell you that they are bitter people. From the way they talk, you know that this person is bitter. You hear people, and the funny part about bitter people, You are bitter. Can you leave your bitterness alone? No. They want to recruit people.
To be bitter.
That's one thing about bitter people. They like to have a team. I'm bitter over my boss. I don't want to do it alone. I need to recruit people to join me. So I say, you're even smiling with this guy. You don't know him. They will start telling, like, you want to get a team so that you feel happy. The moment you see one of your team members, like you said, talking with the other guy, you start feeling that this person is a betrayer. You get angry with the other person. So that spirit, I will still say I liken it to witchcraft. You have to do away with it. Look at what happened to the prodigal son. When he left and then he came back, his dad welcomed him and he even organized a party. His older brother was in the field working and he had music and he came, he asked questions. He was told, oh, it's your younger brother, he's back. And your dad is throwing party at him. They just killed this and that. And he called that, he said, I've been living with you, I've been faithful, I've been this, I've been working with you, yet you've never killed even the smallest of animal for me, but you did it for my younger brother. The father tried to explain to him, but he was not happy he didn't join the party. Did the party stop?
No.
It didn't. And that's what most of us don't know. You are out there living in bitterness. The party is going on. And it will keep moving. You're bitter with somebody, the person will keep growing. Something has happened to you, refuse to let go of the pain, the world will not wait for you to recover. So you need to get to the point of saying, no, yes, this has happened, but I'm leaving it to God to take care of it. And then come out of that situation. It can be your parents, it can be your siblings, it can be your wife, it can be coming from even your husband. The relationship you're into, you have put so much energy into it. You've tried your best to be faithful and all of that, yet it is like things are not actually working out for you. So don't leave, don't dwell, beat the bitterness. Let go of the pain, forgive, whether the person asks for it or not. At the moment you feel angered about a particular situation, like I get angry. I like to use myself as an example. I get angry. There are things that people can just do and I'll get irritated. But after some minutes, I cannot, like I have better things to think of. Then imagine that I will hold on to the next 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. I'm thinking of what somebody did for me. Do you know what I can use that 20 minutes to do? Think of something better. So anger is a natural emotion. Human and non-human experience it. Even animals, we see that in them. What are you supposed to do? Just like the Bible says, don't allow the sun go down. Yes, sit down. How do you get? There are people that will say, I used to get angry, but I find it difficult to come out of it. You can. Don't deceive yourself that anytime I see I used to feel this pain in my heart. There's a way the person describes. There's this pain in my heart I feel. You can do away with it. Like, think about the time you spend hating, the time you spend envying, the times you spend unhappy, disappointed, murmuring, grumbling, complaining. That energy can be channeled towards creativity, coming up with ideas, becoming the better version of you. How can you come out of those situations, those like the unhappiness, the anger? Sit down, reflect. Do you know there are times you'll be angry and then later on when you sit down, you just see, like, you reflect on the whole thing and you'll be like, why was I even angry in the first place? And that is why most times, like when I'm angry, I don't even talk. Because you can just say something and later when you're reflecting on the whole thing and you see that, oh, I shouldn't have ever said this. So sometimes when you find yourself in that situation of intense anger, you can leave that environment where you are. Go somewhere, sit down, relax, reflect on why you are angry. Meditate. And when you think it's too heavy for you, talk to a friend. There are times that you talk to somebody and the person, oh no, yeah, I understand, but just say, and you just see you feel encouraged. So forgive whether the person asks for it or not. You can go back, sit, meditate, reflect on why you are angry. Let it go. Talk to a friend as well. That can also help you. Don't live in that situation whereby when you see somebody, you say, I would rather die than to watch this happen, and you see the person working day and night to ensure that other person does not move forward. No, it shouldn't be like that. Look at Amnon and Tamar, his stepsister. He saw her, he got lost over his sister, and then he slept with her. When Absalom, the brother of Tamar, found out what happened to his sister, he was bitter about it. Like, how dare you? Like, you slept with my sister, and he harbored that bitterness in his heart. He was just thinking of how he's going to revenge what is him. He killed him. And when you read further, you see how it got to a point that he had to leave the father's house. He got one of the father's advisor to work for him, and then unknown to him, all the advice too that the advisor was giving to him is out of bitterness too, because he too was angry with the fact that King David slept with Uriah's wife, Bathsheba, because she is also his niece. And at the end of the day, the advisor hanged himself, and then Absalom also died. Like, this is all result of bitterness. Ruth, Naomi, when she left Bethlehem, she went to Moab. She lost her husband. Her 2 sons were killed. And she felt she was so bitter. And why would this happen? I don't have any reason to be happy. I lost my husband, my 2 sons. Maybe those reasons could be justifiable why you're bitter. Don't live in it. You will never grow. God is waiting for you, like I said, in the future. There's something better. I will always use the story of Cindy on this show, how she lost her 13-year-old daughter. But God brought out a ministry from that, and she kept preaching to the world and changing people that were into alcohol. So I think it is important that we let go of the disappointment, let go of the anger, let go of the unhappiness. If you have justifiable reasons, or it is just a feeling, or that. Because there are people, like you said, they recruit others. Because I'm bitter over this person, I would like to tell this other person too about it so that you will join me. And you that joined, you didn't even know the root of the problem. And you just see yourself being stagnant while the other person is happy, growing, moving forward, excelling. You are there until you find the root of what is causing that bitterness. Get rid of it, and you get your joy back.
Yeah, and there's something about bitterness again. It makes you focus more on the negativities around your life, so you don't appreciate any good that comes your way, and that's why you keep on being stagnant. Because the more you appreciate the good that is in your life, the more you continue to grow. But you're focusing on the negativity. Okay, so for instance, you've been close friends with this person, and then this person betrays you. Let's say, for instance, I've been close to Joyce. Joyce betrayed me, and so I keep on looking at Joyce with anger. Tomorrow, Solomon comes into my life. I'm friends with him, but I'm still thinking, oh, he probably betrayed me as Joyce did. So that friendship that's supposed to continue with Solomon and be a good one, I'm still leaning back towards Joyce. And at the end of the day, that friendship is going to crash. Then Martha comes along, and it just continues. The cycle just continues. And then you begin to feel like every other person that comes in your way will betray you. So you're focusing more on that than the positivity that's going on in your life. What if when Joyce betrayed me, it was for my own good? You will not even look at that. Possibly the betrayal that she did was supposed to pave way for me to meet you, to pave way for me for something good. But no, I'm still focusing on it. So it just destroys your life. It keeps on building, as I said earlier on. It's like you've grown the seed, and then the seed continues to germinate and grow and grow and grow, and it reaches to the whole. You just have a full matured bitterness. And I think that's why Paul mentioned that let no seed of bitterness be found amongst you, because he knows that if you continue to live in bitterness, it destroys. Bitterness destroys. It kills. And in the killing is not just your conscience or your emotions or inside. No, it kills you. Have you seen a bitter person? The person is not happy. One. The person is always sick. He's always going to the hospital. You have high blood pressure for no reason. Bitterness continues to build, and it kills you physically as well as mentally, as spiritually. Every angle, every sector of life, bitterness kills you.
In fact, it kills you in all ramifications.
Yes.
Because mentally you will not be okay to even process anything around you positive. If you are doing business, like you are going to your shop, for instance, you have shop, you're going to your shop, but you are waking up with a lad in your mind. And you are going to shop.
That reminded me of one comic, like one comedy I watched. So both of them are into restaurant business, and then the other person was having more sales, and then the other woman was so angry. And then any of our friends that comes to, she says, you don't know this woman, she's using juju, she's doing what, like she kept trying to condemn the woman, and the woman is busy answering calls, how many plates, this and that, like people are just ordering. Unknown to her, she actually registered with an online platform where they promote the business. So people, so she was just saying, this woman is busy using juju, every day she's condemning and insulting her. So like you said, you wake up in the morning, you're thinking of the other mama, whosoever that is selling, busy selling. Instead of to think of your own business, like how can I expand? Like this morning, God, thank you for this day. How can I expand this business? Your mind is that woman is using witchcraft. She's washing this. She's doing no. It leaves it like the ultimate price of bitterness is destruction. You will not grow beyond where you are at all because you're channeling the energy to unhappiness, to disappointment, to anger. So instead of you thinking of like the better part of you, how to improve yourself, you're thinking of how to bring the other person down. So you see that energy that you should have channeled into building yourself, you are just focusing on the negative. Like she said, if you see an angry person or a bitter person speak, oh, it's a terrible thing. You wouldn't want to be around that person. Personally, I don't like being around bitter people because it has a way of affecting you as well. Yes. Like when bitter person talk, like bitterness poison you to the point that you lose your objectivity.
Sure.
That was why I talk about the other woman, that she will not even think, maybe let me ask you, what are you doing to get, like, so that I will also tell that part. No, she's only thinking, it has already poisoned her that she's no more objective. She's not even thinking that maybe there's an online platform where she's advertising. So you see, it poisons you that you lose your objectivity, you lose your integrity, you even forget everything that is right. That's why you always think of negative things. So when you hear bitter people talk, you won't even believe that that person has ever gone to school. Like if you see even professors that are bitter, you wonder, did this person actually go to school? Because sometimes you think that education will make you get. So, but you see certain people, they talk and you wonder, like, where is the education you get? So let's get rid, like Paul says, get rid of this bitterness. Lots of comments on Facebook.
Yes. So many people following, and it's interesting.
Thaddeus is saying, good morning, Equa TV. Happy new month to you guys. Thank you, Thaddeus. We also have Yahaya JM. He says, the bitter memories I had felt like the wrongly inked tattoo. It sticks to me adamantly even when I want to get rid of it. Anger and bitterness rob you of peace, not your enemy. Very true. Very true. Also have, don't let anger control you. Don't let hate enslave you. Don't let negativity overcome you. Don't let bitterness conquer you. Same Yaya is saying bitterness is how we punish ourselves for other people's sin.
Oh my God, that one is really like that. I like that.
Yes, he also said bitterness is like cancer. It eats up the host. But anger is like fire. It burns it all clean. Yaya also said to achieve peace, let go of guilt, anger, bitterness. To achieve happiness, embrace virtue, faith, and love. That's very true.
Beautiful.
I think Yaya followed us very well.
Yes, like every point.
He also said bitterness in your heart contaminates love in your soul. Never let bitterness make a home in your heart. Raise the rent and kick it out. That is the bottom line there. Also said, joy in your heart is better than bitterness in your soul. When bitter, say little. When angry, say nothing. When happy, say much. When joyful, say all. Yaya also said, bitterness is a venom that consumes its host. And wow, Sam Solomon, great interactive program. They also say one who is bitter is seldom a winner. Bitterness, that's coming from Thaddeus. Bitterness take happiness away and leads to destruction of life.
Sure, very true.
Yeah, you need to be on this set.
Exactly.
I
think, let me read that. He said,
the lover of this show.
yes, he's really
diehard,
following this,
you know.
and he says, bitterness is what happens when we view the things we want, which we don't have. Those harboring bitterness in their hearts have the tendency to alienate themselves from those things that cause the bitter taste, which is why bitterness never works. Because in order to achieve that which we want to do, we want but don't have, we need to be putting ourselves in that river, in those rivers, and flow in them. So bitterness is an anchor. Can you take that up again? Thank you. Bitterness is an anchor that denies you the right to flow in and towards the things that you really wish you had. Grace of the soul is what empowers you with the ability to be joyful for the ones who have what you don't yet have. Grace of soul is the canoe helping you to flow with and in those rivers.
Great.
Thank you very much, Yahya.
Thank you so much,
Thank you so much.
and Thaddeus. And all the likes we can see, people who are following us. Thank you so much. We really appreciate.
Thank you.
Shake off the negativity. Say no to bitterness.
Sure.
Embrace happiness, joy, and you see yourself blooming, blossoming, and that's the ultimate goal. That's what God wants of us, to live happy, to live joyful.
Yes.
Let's not allow ourselves to dwell in bitterness. Like he used the instance, he says like a tattoo. Even if you try to get at some point for him, holding on to bitterness was like a tattoo. It steals your peace. Like imagine living without peace of mind. So get rid of the bitterness.
Cage you, makes you stagnant, you know. And that's the beauty of this program, you know, because people around the world, you know, are following and then they are contributing. So just keep those comments coming and those likes. It's because you are there, that's why we are here, and we appreciate all your contributions, you know. And
I think it's important we talk about how to deal with these bitterness, because some people are out there and maybe they are, okay, I've been bitter, but I think it's good I let go.
Yeah, it is very important, and like you rightly said, because our idea is at the end of this program, we should be able to help someone. And it is very key, you know, to talk about this particular issue of how to get it. We know our center is the Bible. Yes, we can't do away with the Bible. You know, Bible have encouraged us, have told us so many things that we will do to get away with it. Because bitterness is a sin, to even start with. Is a sin. And then when you look at this issue of bitterness, yes, there are so many people out there that have been disappointed genuinely, because you can imagine in a relationship of 5-10 years that you have put in your best time that you cannot regain. You know, when you talk about other things like material things, this one put in 10 years in a relationship, and then someone wake bitter, this thing live with you, you keep thinking, what if I use that 10 years and I put it in something different? And then maybe along the line, so many offer came your way, you know, and then you are like, no, I don't want it. You discard them. And then at the end of the relationship, this is what you are getting. It could just be the man opting out, or the lady opting out after giving your best. It's not easy. That's what we are saying. We have established that, yes, people can hurt you genuinely, you know, and then they can just be moving, and then you holding onto that like tattoo, just like Yahya said, and then it's eating you up, it's killing you, and then you are stagnant, and possibly the person that you are bitter about, he's moving, you know. So you need to come out from that. How do you come out from such kind of, because it's possible, it's possible. How do you come out from such kind of a situation?
It's actually funny that Paul tells you that be kind to one another. That's after he says, get rid of all bitterness and rage. So you're bitter, and then he's asking you to be kind to one another. That's like a huge contrast for me, but then basically that's the best thing that you can do for yourself. You need to be kind to people. be kind. And the next thing is you to be tender-hearted. And then forgive one another. These are the steps he's telling you. Be kind to them. Be tender-hearted. And forgive the person as Christ, God in Christ, forgave us. That's how Paul presents it. And he also says, the writer of Hebrews, I think you're still the same person, though I'm not sure, also says that you should strive for peace with everyone. I remember another one that said, as long as it depends on you, be at peace with everyone. So technically, yes, you're going to be bitter, angry about something. Somebody would offend you. That's the definite something. It happens. You're going to be angry towards people, towards betrayals. You're going to be disappointed. All those things will come your way, but forgive them and be at peace. I think the first thing is that you need to be at peace with God. When you're at peace with God, I think it comes easier for you to be at peace with other people. It's like you've gotten from the vine, then you continue to flow. Yes, so you become the passage that grace of God flows to other people as well. So it's important that you open up yourself to be that vessel that will be the channel through which God's love and grace is going to flow. If not, you become that vessel that keeps harboring bitterness and makes bitterness continue to flow.
That's true. Like I agree totally with everything you say, especially the fact that you get from the vine and then you spread it. The fact that if you are at peace with yourself, with God, it's easy for you to be at peace with all men and even to be kind. I think the bottom line is to forgive. Have that spirit of forgiveness. When you do that, you won't live in bitterness. You won't even harbor anger to the point that it grows to become bitterness and you live unhappy. Choose to forgive regardless of the situation. You might have justifiable reason for why you're bitter, losing a loved one, not getting promoted, what is due for you, not given to you, like a property being collected from you. You might have so many good reasons to be, and betrayals and guilt from past mistakes, all of that. Or maybe somebody or you're out there is just like that, you're bitter with people. Just learn to forgive. Whether people ask for it or not. Forgive them. And I think another practical way that you can do it is sit down, write a list of people that you're bitter with. But if your list is long, there's something wrong with you. Yes. Write a list of the people that you're bitter with. Like I said, if you have a very long list, then check your own self. Secondly, examine the root cause of your bitterness. And sometimes in examining, you might find out the problem. You know, I once gave a story of a small community where people were falling sick and dying. And then some experts were invited. After a lot of tests, they saw that they were contaminated with a particular disease. And when the experts checked, like, in fact, they checked their source of water, it was a stream. And they checked the water, they found that the water was contaminated. They started moving through the root of the water. And when they got to the end, they noticed that a mother pig and the piglet died, got stuck and died. So that was the root cause of that illness that was killing people in the society. So the pig were removed from the water. And at the end of the day, the water was clean and people regained their health and all of that. So check, what is the root cause of my bitterness? Deal with it, remove it, so that you can be whole again, because it is something that you're holding on to that is making you bitter. So check the root cause and remove it. And if you are like the brother of the prodigal son that refused to join the party because he was angry with his father, the party will still go on, whether you join or not. Let go so that you live happily. The Bible says, guard your hearts with all diligence. Out of it are the issues about. Guard it with all. So it means that things will definitely happen around you and will be happening that have the tendency to keep you bitter. Guard your heart. When it's coming and you know if you allow it enter, or maybe information coming from somebody that wants to recruit you into his own, guard your heart so that you won't be like drag into that. And I think if you do that, it's going to be very good. It is difficult, it might be difficult, but God has promised us the grace. So that is why every day we emphasize that no matter what, let your eyes be on Jesus, and then the word of God will always stand as the weapon for you. Recall how I said somebody can just come and talk to you anyhow, but when you recall that the Bible, it says that in the last days people are going to be arrogant. People are going to be selfish. People are going to be lovers of money. So there are things that people exhibit. You will know that they are signs of end time. You are not ignorant now of these things. So your heart is well guarded. You say, no, that person's behavior cannot. It is who the person is. Your heart is well guarded. And if you do that, I think it's going to help you. So go back to God, and he has called us to blessings. So just like the story of what Naomi, later on God restored her because he was waiting for her in Bethlehem. Her daughter-in-laws. At the end of the day, God blessed the daughter-in-law with a husband. She gave birth to a son. Naomi held that son as her own. So God was actually waiting for her in Bethlehem while she was in Moab, bitter, and even changing her name to Mora. So guard your heart, forgive, let go. Everything, put it to God, and he's going to take care of it.
Yeah, I think we should take this comment.
It says, this is from Echo Good News. Kagadama Bauchi.
Kagadama Bauchi.
Kagadama. Okay, sorry. I just murdered
I stayed in Bauchi,
I'm
so
sorry about that. Okay, and he said, when someone demonstrates anger and disappointment at being treated unfairly, when you are resentful towards someone or envy someone's achievements, status, etc. And then the most well-known stories of bitterness in the Bible is that of Cain and Abel, Joseph and his brothers, etc. And then they concluded with the end of bitterness is in a man is destruction. And then Dan Shira Akoto says, watching live. Thank you for your comments. We really appreciate it. And it's very true that the end of bitterness in man is destruction. Very true. Very true.
Briefly,
and I would like to.
Our time is well spent.
I would just like to build on this for the seconds I have remaining. Pray about the circumstance. As she said, give everything to God. So pray about the circumstance if you find yourself. And please, if you're finding it hard to do it alone, if you're finding it hard to do it with God alone, I think you should ask God to lead you to somebody that would help you. You should seek counsel somewhere. There are people out there that can help you get rid of bitterness as well. The same way that people will lead you to bitterness, there are people that can help you get out of bitterness, because God has placed them strategically into your life. So it's important that we consider all those things, and also constantly remember that bitterness is like a poison that you're slowly eating that would definitely kill you at the end of the day.
Just so they will also know that time is too short to live offended. We don't have guarantee for tomorrow. Life is fragile. So in that situation you find yourself, go to God and he will make it off to you.
Sure. Thank you very much. And it is very important you forgive yourself. You know, forgive yourself. After forgiving that person that possibly made you bitter, you forgive yourself. Step into now. What has happened? So that means you keep moving. You know, stepping into now is looking for help, like you rightly said. You know, just to move on. So, Prudence and Joyce, thank you so much for doing this with me.
Thank you. Always.
It's always a pleasure.
Appreciate, and for our viewers out there and our community out there, thank you so much for the comment. Thank you for the likes. You know, we definitely believe that someone have gotten a help from this program, and that's the idea of today's live, to come to share and then to see how we provide solution on how people will get out of what is really troubling them. Permit me to just leave you with this: quick and slander along with every form. With us, see you tomorrow same time. Bye bye.
Compose a song on the Echo 2023 theme, Occupy Till I Come, Luke 19 verse 13, and stand a chance to minister live on the 10th of February 2023 at the Echo Theme Song Concert. Venue, Echo International Conference Center. Submit your songs to 070-4611-2545 via WhatsApp. Entry closes 8th February 2023.